Thank you all for coming to support this fight.
No hemos hecho un gran campamento, hemos hecho una gran carrera para este sábado poner la cereza en el pastel, como decimos.
This hasn't only been a great training camp. We have witnessed a great career, and this fight is, like you would say, the cherry on top for everything.
Hemos tenido grandes peleas con grandes peleadores de todos los estilos, zurdos, derechos, campeones y no campeones.
We have fought so many different fights against former champions and non-champions alike.
Creo que hay muy poco que decir de la carrera de Saúl, pero el sábado vamos a poner al primer mexicano, al primer latino como primer campeón indiscutible.
There is not much left to say about Canelo's career, but in the end, this Saturday, we're going to witness the first Mexican undisputed world champion.
Y a la vez respetamos mucho el trabajo del equipo de Plan, pero nosotros somos mejores y el sábado se va a demostrar.
We respect and admire Plant's work ethic, his team as well, but in the end, we are better and we're going to show that on Saturday night.
Y poner al boxeo de México donde siempre debe de estar, en lo más alto. Y pues muchas gracias a todos los que están aquí presentes.
The goal is to be at the top, and thank you again, once again, for everybody here supporting this fight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eddie. We also want to recognize his father here, legendary longtime trainer. We say hello to Chepo Reynoso. Before we hear from the fighters, we do want to acknowledge our undercard for this big event, featuring 3 10-round bouts. Showdowns featuring in separate bouts two-time world champion Anthony the Dog Durrell and the Showtime debuts of former world champion Rey Vargas, who is still undefeated, and the knockout artist Elvis Rodriguez in separate bouts in our undercard on Saturday night. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from our fighters at this time. My pleasure first to introduce to you the IBF title holder. He'll be making the 4th defense of his title. He is the talented and determined and undefeated IBF super middleweight champion of the world, Sweet Hands, Caleb Plant.
What's going on? Appreciate all the media showing up today. I want to thank Al Heyman, my manager Luis de Cubas, Showtime, Steven Espinoza, and everybody who plans on tuning in Saturday night. Not much time left and really not much left to say, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Leading up to this fight, Canelo said that Mexicans don't fuck around. Well, that's good to know because where I'm from, we don't fuck around neither. So Saturday night, make sure you tune in. You'll be seeing the first undisputed super middleweight of all time. This is history. And you're looking at him. His name is Caleb Plant. Thank you.
Thank you, Caleb. Also want to remind you the fighters and trainers will be available for one-on-one interviews following our Q&A from Brian Campbell coming up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the unified world champion, looking to become the first Mexican boxer in the history of the sport to capture an undisputed title. Ladies and gentlemen, he is going to and aiming to cement his place as one of boxing's all-time greats. Please welcome the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
Solamente quiero agradecer a todos por estar aquí, como siempre, apoyando.
I just want to thank everybody here for, like always, to be here supporting me.
Gracias a todos los que hicieron posible esta pelea.
Thank you, everybody, for making this fight possible.
Y como ya lo dijo Eddie, hace muchos años empezamos este camino para completar esto y estamos muy contentos de estar a muy pocos días de hacerlo.
And like Eddie said, we have come a long way to make this happen, and we are just days away from making history.
Y nada, agradecerles, no hay mucho que decir. Nos vemos el sábado 6 de noviembre. Como saben, vamos a hacer historia juntos. Gracias a todos y quisiera aprovechar para darle a Eddie el reconocimiento de hace ya un año más o menos, más de un año, por la pandemia no se lo dieron, del entrenador del año.
We would like to recognize Eddie Reynoso as Trainer of the Year. We didn't have the chance to do it with the pandemic, so I wanted to take the time to do it.
muy merecido y creo que este año va a volver a hacerlo. Back to back.
This is very well deserved, and I believe he's going to repeat this year.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our Q&A session. And to lead us at this time, my pleasure to introduce to you boxing and MMA journalist and co-host of Showtime's Morning Combat. Please welcome Brian Campbell. Brian.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Thanks to all the media for being here today. It's Fight Week, Las Vegas, 3 days out from history. But as these fighters know, sometimes the fight really begins when the fight is signed. And sometimes the promotional story, the journey can teach us things. September 22nd, the press conference that formally announced this fight, we almost found out who was the new undisputed champion on that day in Beverly Hills. So let me start here, Canelo. What did you learn about your opponent, Caleb Plant, from what took place that day in Beverly Hills when this fight was announced?
No, nothing. It's different when you're in the ring. Is way different. So I don't take nothing from there.
More or less the same question to you, Caleb. But really a focus on, were you surprised? I don't want to say how easily, maybe how quickly you were able to visibly get under Canelo's skin.
I mean, well, it wasn't my intention to get under his skin. And again, I think, you guys make a lot more of it than we do. I'm sure me and him both have been in worse scuffles than that. And I'm sure most people in this room have been in worse scuffles than that. So it's, again, like he said, when the bell rings, it's completely different. I don't take anything away from anything from the press conference.
Canelo, you made a great career fighting anyone, anytime, any style. When you look back over your run, what have you, or who have you faced that you think has prepared you to defeat Caleb Plant on Saturday?
No, I faced before many fighters, many good fighters with that style. So that made me feel confident in my boxing experience.
I want to slide that question over to Eddie Reynoso, your trainer. When it comes to developing a game plan to defeat Caleb Plant, what is your main focus for Saturday?
Cuando se trata de desarrollar una estrategia para vencer a Caleb Plant, ¿en qué te enfocas para este sábado?
No, pues en lo único que me enfoco es lo que sabe hacer mi boxeador. Hicimos un gran campamento, hicimos una gran preparación y creo que nos preocupamos por lo que hagamos, lo que vamos a hacer nosotros arriba del ring, hacerlo bien.
I don't focus on the opponent. I focus on what my fighter is going to be able to do. We had an amazing training camp, a great preparation, and we're going to be ready to roll on Saturday night.
Caleb Plant is champion versus champion. You've had an incredible journey to get here. When did the idea of facing Canelo Alvarez first become a reality to you in your career?
Well, I'm someone who, likes to focus on what's in front of me, and up until recently, he hasn't been in my weight division, so, I haven't really thought anything of him or anything of it. But, once he came into the division, I thought, this would make a huge mega fight, and here we are, so.
I've heard the phrase from you, whether it be at Showtime's All Access series or in many interviews, by any means necessary. What does that mean in particular to you winning this fight?
Just by any means necessary, getting the job done. And I feel like that not just myself and my team, we've done that this far to get to this point. And me, whether it's in boxing or whatever, by any means necessary, I've gotten here. I've had plenty of chances to bow out. I've had plenty of chances to step away and say, no, I'm done. I've had enough. And I haven't. So Saturday night, I can't wait for the bell to ring.
I want to direct a question to your own team, Justin Gainber, your trainer, father and trainer Richie Plant. When you look at the skills that Caleb brings to the table, what advantages does he have against Canelo?
Well, anytime you face the pound for pound best in boxing, you're going to have your work cut out for you. And we've had our work cut out for us before at the end of the day. And, we're prepared. We prepared our whole career for this night, fighting the best. And on Saturday night, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about.
Canelo, I've heard you say to the degree at times this is just another fight, although you certainly accepted and went after this fight because of your pursuit of history. I think if Caleb has shown you anything in the build, it's the mental toughness. Any means necessary, like he says, he's coming for you. Does that change your preparation at all, knowing you have a very mentally tough opponent across from you?
No, I always train 100%. I always train, obviously, for the style of my opponent, but I always train 100%, and I like the idea.
Caleb, it's not easy to defeat Canelo Alvarez, only one man has. It's not easy to win a close decision against him, considering his ability to land clean counter shots, heavy blows. Can you win a decision against Canelo? Is it a knockout? How does this fight look when you dream it, when you imagine Saturday night?
The way I see this fight turning out is, Jimmy Lennon saying, and the new undisputed and still undefeated. And, as far as the judges goes, he's had multiple close fights with Lara. Austin Trout gave him a good fight. Triple G has given him good fights. And but I believe that the right people are put in place to make sure that the right decision is made come Saturday night, and anything out other than that is out of my control. So all I can focus on is the game plan, me and my team, and the job that has to be done, and that's what we're focused on.
We'd like to continue this conversation with the media members present here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Steve Pratt, if you could tee up the first question.
Hey, Jordan. Shout out to women in boxing. Caleb, it has to do something for your mental psyche up here. You're sitting next to Canelo, all these accolades. His trainer is getting awarded Trainer of the Year at the same time. What do you do for mental health this week? And with all the media around it already saying that Canelo is going to win, and with mental health being such a big topic in the United States as it is right now. So what do you do to keep sane so that it doesn't get under your skin?
I mean, like a lot of us, people are going to say what they're going to say, but they don't get the end saying. I get the end saying. So I can't focus on what other people have to say about me or what do they say I can accomplish. If I had listened to them to begin with, I wouldn't even be here. So again, I'm focused on the game plan. I'm focused on what I got to do, and what people say or odds makers, that has nothing to do with me, and that's none of my business.
Aquí. Canelo, buenas tardes. ¿Qué significa para ti que ya no te están poniendo en la ecuación de los mejores mexicanos? Para muchos eso ya se logró. ¿Qué significa como mexicano que te pongan en la ecuación ya de estar en la historia como los mejores boxeadores, no solamente de México, sino de todo el mundo?
No, pues al final del día para eso trabajo, ¿no? Para eso estoy aquí, para hacer historia y para que me pongan como uno de los mejores peleadores en la historia del boxeo, no solo de México. Entonces me siento muy orgulloso y eso es lo que me motiva para seguir en este camino.
Gracias.
The question was, how does it feel to not only be considered one of the all-time Mexican greats, but one of the all-time greats worldwide? And Canelo said that that's the goal, to be an all-time great. And I'm so proud of trying to achieve that. And I'm never going to stop until I try my best to be one of the all-time greats.
La pregunta para Saúl Canelo Álvarez, Osvaldo Príncipe, TNT Sports, Argentina. Saúl, tanto como Plan, hemos hablado ya muchísimo de la pelea. Pero al hombre le pregunto, lo veo con esa expresión. ¿Dónde está su cabeza a esta altura del miércoles, pensando en la balanza, viendo la cara de Plant? ¿Qué pasa por el alma del boxeador? Quizás los periodistas no podemos percibir, pero ¿en qué está pensando con esa expresión tan para adentro Saúl Canelo Álvarez a esta hora de la conferencia?
En ganar. Eso es lo único que pienso, en ganar. Visualizo la victoria, visualizo cómo voy a hacer las cosas arriba del cuadrilátero y siempre visualizo eso. Es lo único que pienso esta semana, ¿no? En ganar, en hacer las cosas como las tengo que hacer.
The question was, as far as what goes in, what's your thoughts as far as before the fight, before the weigh-in, sitting next to Plant? What goes in your head, not just as a fighter, but as a man? And Canelo said that only one thing goes through his mind, and that's winning. That's the only thing he's concerning about. Everything else is beyond him. The only thing he cares about is what's going to happen inside the ring on Saturday night.
Saúl, Jesús López, Deportes Vegas 1460 AM. La pregunta es, fin de semana bastante interesante para nosotros los mexicanos. El Checo Pérez va a estar corriendo el Gran Premio de México. Tú vas a estar peleando por algo que no se ha hecho antes. ¿Llegaste a hablar con Checo Pérez acerca de esto, de lo que esto puede significar para la alegría del pueblo de México?
No, no he hablado con él para nada de esto, pero la verdad es que a mí me motiva y me enorgullece mucho que el mismo fin de semana estemos buscando algo grandísimo para México y la verdad que me siento muy orgulloso de eso y de representar a mi país.
Gracias, Saúl.
The question was that this weekend, Canelo is not going to be the only one trying to make history, but Sergio Checo Perez is also going to be participating in the Formula One Mexico Grand Prix. And so the question was, what does it mean to him for two Mexicans to be on the verge of making such great history? And Canelo said that he hasn't gotten to talk to Checo Perez yet, but that it motivates him absolutely, the fact that he can make history as well as Sergio can, and that hopefully it can happen that way, and it can be an unbelievable, unforgettable weekend for Mexican fans everywhere.
This will be our final media question.
Caleb Adriana Jimenez with Fino Boxing. Caleb, you've been underestimated throughout your career, and now you have this chance to become undisputed at 168. How much more motivational and sweeter would that be for Saturday night?
I mean, I've been the underdog. Maybe this is like my third time in my career, so, you know, but it's a place that I like to be. I like people rooting against me. I like being the underdog. I like that position. It gives me extra motivation, but, you know, fighting for the first undisputed super middleweight championship of the world, you don't need much more than that. So I'm focused, I'm locked in, I'm ready, I'm relaxed, I'm calm, and I'm focused.
Caleb, do you have any final words for your fans, for your opponent on how Saturday night's fight will turn out?
Showtime pay-per-view, just make sure you tune in. Like I've said before, this isn't just the biggest fight of the year, but when you're tuning in this fight, you're tuning in to witness history as I get crowned the first undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.
Canelo, we'll give you the last word. What goes down this Saturday night?
No, agradecerles a todos, más que nada agradecerles, espero que estén viendo esta gran pelea, es una gran pelea, una pelea histórica. Ahora sí la catalogan como pelea del año por todo lo que significa y espero que los fans estén ahí apoyando y que disfruten de una gran noche.
I want to thank you all, and you know what? The best thing you can do is tune into this fight. It's going to be history, and you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to be witnessing something that you're going to remember for a long time, and I hope you can enjoy it.
All 4 super middleweight world titles at stake. The first undisputed champion in 168-pound history this Saturday night, Las Vegas, this arena, and only on Showtime pay-per-view. You can pre-order it right now on show.com. That's SHO/PPV. A few scant tickets remain at AXS.com. Thank you so much to the media members for showing up today and the fighters and their teams. And all those watching at home, we'll see you Saturday night.
Okay, media, while we're posing the fighters, so active television, Deadline Television.
Just days out from Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez, all 4
super middleweight world titles. Brian Campbell, Luke Thomas, your morning combat host here.